The trade freeze lifted yesterday for the Ontario Hockey League, and just one move to report on here today, and that's between the Brampton Steelheads and the Peterborough Petes. Two teams right now looking to go in different directions as we prepare for the 2025-26 OHL season. So how this trade breaks down? Well, the Brampton Steelheads have traded Lucas Karmiris to the Petes for Zach Bowen and 3 draft picks. That includes Owen Sound, second-round pick in 2026, a 4th, and a conditional 3rd in 2027. So not a bad pickup here for both teams. Lucas Karmiris, nearly a point per game last season despite injury. Last year he appeared in 40 games, registering 13 goals, 22 assists, 35 points. Plays center, and he's a bigger presence there out on the ice. He's only 5'11", 190 pounds, but plays like he's a much larger player than that. So Karmiris, he's going to be quite steady, I think, down the middle for the Peterborough Petes in this upcoming season. Almost a point per game, which is a good sign. And then going into this season, I would expect that offense to pick up quite a bit as he'll be counted upon in that top 6 for the Peterborough Petes this upcoming season. And going the other way, Zach Bowen, he's an overage goaltender, 2005 born, so he'll take that starting role likely for the Brampton Steelheads this upcoming season. Last year, 37 games, a 3.95 goals against average, 893 save percentage to go along with a record of 8-22, 2, and 3. So not many wins there for Bowen last season, but remember, the Peterborough Petes at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings at the end of the 24-25 campaign. So Bowen, he's pretty steady. He's 6'2", 190 pounds, and he'll be counted upon for the Steelheads team that's going to be battling, I think, for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Remember, this Steelheads team has already lost quite a few players from who were on the roster last season. So this is a roster in flux right now. And Zach Bowen looking to be a steady presence there in the paint to try and keep the Steelheads in these games. I wouldn't be surprised for Brampton next year. They're going to have to play a lot of one-goal hockey games to try and get victories to stay competitive in the Eastern Conference if they're going to make the playoffs, or do they make more moves to recoup picks and look to the future after last season was supposed to be their go for it year, but this year it's a junior hockey cycle. Teams have to rebuild or retool for a couple seasons before coming back. As we saw with the Peterborough Petes, they've missed the playoffs the last 2 years and have now added some key pieces as they prepare to battle back to get back into the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. I do like what's taking shape with this Peterborough Petes team is I'm going to be doing season preview videos in the coming weeks as we get set for the 25-26 campaign. But when you look at what these two teams have done so far, we'll start off with the exits for the Brampton Steelheads. It all starts with Lucas Karmiris, of course, here, this trade with the Peterborough Petes, but they've also lost the services of Porter Martone and Jack Ivankovic, who've both announced their intentions to go the NCAA route, along with Luke Misa. So there's 4 players off the roster last year. And remember, they also traded away Jack Van Volsen to the Sarnia Sting back in June. Braden Gillespie has announced that he's going the NCAA route. He would have been your OA goaltender, so that's why they bring in Bowen to replace that position. Adam Zidlicki right now listed to play for the Youngstown Phantoms of the USHL, so there's another player out. And then Angus McDonnell, Carson Reichoff, Vilmer Ulrichsen, not expected to return to the OHL this season. So that's a long list of players being removed from the lineup. I may be even missing a couple of others. So for the Steelheads, this is going to be a retool year. And if you look at what the North Bay Battalion did last year, how they were able to acquire younger talents and yet stay in the race for that final playoff spot, I wouldn't be surprised if Brampton may find themselves in a similar situation as North Bay last year. And they still have pieces that they could trade away to recoup assets, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Still lots of time between now and the start of the regular season for the Steelheads to add to their lineup or sign some pieces, but still, this is shaping up to be a bit of a rebuild or retool for Brampton. But then you look at the Peterborough Petes. They've been active this summer with some key additions. Lucas Karmiris, who we're talking about here in this trade from the Brampton Steelheads. But they've also picked up veteran defenseman James Petrovsky from the Owen Sound Attack, along with Matthew Soto from the Kingston Frontenacs. And they had that key signing, Adam Novotny, and the import selection has agreed to come over to play for the Peterborough Petes. That's going to be a key addition for this team. But the big question still, when will Caden McGregor sign with the Peterborough Petes after being selected first overall in the 2025 OHL Priority Selection? I did that video last week, and sounding as though he should sign with the Petes. It's just a situation where New Sport is his agent representative has questions with the new OHL player agreement. And because of those concerns, they've had talks with the league and they're holding off on signing. That also affects Kingston and Flint, or Sarnia rather, with their first round selections who have not yet signed. So sounds like McGregor will join this team. That'll be a key piece to go along with the core they've already established. They've been building these last couple seasons since they won the 2023 OHL Championship. That's been the plan. Strip it down, bring in young talent, build around that. And Peterborough looking at this season as the year to take the next step. Maybe not in contender status, but they should make the playoffs with this roster. And I do like this pickup of Lucas Karmiris. Like I said, he's listed as 5'11", but he plays like he's a much bigger player down the middle. And I think Pete's fans are going to be excited to see what he can bring to this lineup. A key piece, I figure, playing either probably the second line center would be my best guess for when the season gets underway. But still, I do like what the Petes are doing, adding these great veterans to this lineup to go with the younger pieces they already have, while Brampton looking to the future and gaining some assets. Because that second round pick from Peterborough is going to go a long way for the future of this Brampton Steelheads team, as they'll look to probably add a few more younger pieces and draft picks during the course of the regular season. And then maybe in 25, 26, or 26, 27, Brampton may be in a position where they're ready to contend once again in the OHL. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Lots of time between now and then. But still, one move after the OHL trade freeze was lifted between the Petes and the Steelheads. So let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this trade. Obviously, we can expect a few more moves before the start of training camp, which is in just a few weeks' time. And the preseason gets underway on August 29th. We are almost there. OHL hockey beginning at the end of this month. So again, thank you very much for your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.